everyone, and welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show.
So funny, I was like super empowered. I don't think I could sleep.
Still follows the same rules, has the same characters and all that stuff,
yes.
but it just tweaks it a little bit.
You're reading fantasy, and it's so grounded. It's so completely grounded in reality.
Rule clarification, if we both get it wrong, do we get bonus points?
Soldier Simmons, it is my pleasure to now pin you, raising you from the rank of soldier to dedicated.
That didn't happen in the books, but it was awesome.
I nailed it.
I nailed that.
I nailed it. Let me bring you comfort about Egwene. I know you haven't seen her in a month, but let me tell you this story about how badass she is right now.
That fight scene, my boy went through 5 daggers.
Everybody's flower is different. I think we learned that in the books. This is I think for me, top 5 moments ever on screen.
When I read it, I felt empowered. I felt called to action.
One of the best quotes in the whole series is when Gaul says, "Do you like to dance, Baron Abara?"
The knights who say chill.
AKA the band of really, really nice good guys.
Let a couple more drip on.
Drip your chain everywhere.
I am.
Do you have a chaser should you need it?
Can I pull about mine too?
Oh, no.
Yo, this is good.
Young people do like this now or something instead of this.
Oh, it's like this.
The heart emoji.
Don't jiggle, jiggle.
It folds. I like the way you wiggle, wiggle.
You wiggle.
Show. We're going to review the entirety of season 1 of the Wheel of Time. The whole thing. Finale of Rings of Power. Welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show! Hello, 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 and welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show. It's a very serious stream we have tonight, but we're going to make it less serious by taking this absolute tragedy into our own hands and reversing it. Okay, so as you may know, I assume if you're here, you know that the Wheel of Time has been canceled by Amazon Prime. And I say Amazon Prime instead of Prime Video because I know they prefer when people say Prime Video. And I'm pretty sure I only have a few curses. So just give me a few seconds so that it's past the 45-second mark. And fuck Amazon Prime, okay? Because the Wheel of Time is the best fantasy show on television. I'm sorry if your kids are watching. We're going to try and limit our curses. I just had to get that one out of the gate, okay? I'm furious. When I saw the news on, what was it, Friday? I thought for a second, surely it's actually April. It's April Fool's. There's no way this is real. How did they make that decision, right? Best season yet, season 3 came out. We've got a 97% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Yep. Incredible buzz all across the media. Any media that covers fantasy shows and even general media. Incredible buzz. We have Rosamund Pike on the roster. And here they are. Canceling. I still can't believe it. Like all of these things, it doesn't make any sense. So we at the Wheel and Chill Show tonight are going to be discussing the situation. We're going to be discussing what we're going to be doing to reverse the decision or change things for the better. And by that, I mean hoping that somebody picks it up. And we're just going to be lamenting, commiserating, and chatting. We have one guest coming in a little bit who has been involved in the Renew Watt campaign and now is continuing and rolling that over into the Save Watt campaign. And until he rolls in, it's just going to be us. So, as always on the Wheel and Chill Show, we will briefly introduce ourselves before we dive into the topic. I do want to say, though, I really appreciated, I think I saw Larry Daniels in the chat. Soldiers don't win battles. What wins battles is being too dumb to know when you're beaten, too stubborn to fall down and die, and too nasty to let the wheel crush you without jabbing a stick in its spokes. This fan base is dumb, stubborn, and carries a big stick. I don't necessarily agree with the end of that. But I think we can do something. I think we have the power. We have a big stick, and we're gonna jam it in the spokes of this bullshit wheel. God, I'm so mad. Okay, Winespring, go ahead.
Oh, hey, I'm Winespring. That's a place from the books, the Wheel of Time books, and the show that was just canceled, and that sucks. Yep, Winespring. And you can find me on X at Winespring Cafe. And those recipes from the books and the TV show are still there in the article section. And yep, this sucks.
This sucks.
Sucks.
Tavern?
This just sucks.
Hey, Ta'veren Tavern. I make merch and stuff that is Watt inspired and other fandom inspired now. Yeah, this, I mean, surprising. Not appreciated in the least. And yeah, fuck them.
Okay. That's maybe our last maybe our last F-bomb. I don't.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. You're fine. Okay. So, very importantly, I think we're going to get out of the gate here to say we're obviously incredibly angry, and we're going to talk about how angry we are. But in case we lose some people, we're going to talk about how we can save it, how we can do things. There's a campaign going on right now. There's a lot of, multiple petitions, but the one that I'm involved in, the one that I'm pushing out on my platforms, that it's in my link tree, it's going to be in the description of this video if it's not already. I thought it was, but it might not be, is the Save Watt campaign. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this website. We have been, okay, let me go to the main page. All right. It touts all of the Wheel of Time's many, many virtues. Not all of them, because they're impossible to count and relay. But what you can do right now is click this Take Action button, sign the petition. The petition comes in 3 forms. One time, you just have to sign it. Your information will only be going, like your name, essentially, will be going to the 3 places. Oh, I'll just click on it. There we go. I've already done it, but so there's a letter to Sony Pictures Television essentially saying you've got gold here, don't squander it. Let's get this somewhere else. We've got a letter to Amazon. Please reconsider. You're dumb. That's not what it says, but that's how we're feeling. And then a letter to the streaming services. We're talking Apple TV, Netflix, HBO Max, saying this is gold. Pick it up. My God, there's an established fan base. You would be dumb not to. Mm-hmm. Again, way more eloquently put than what I just did. You have to insert your name, your email, and your country, sign the petition, and it'll go out to all of them. And when you think about it, these petitions, like you might assume it'll just fall on deaf ears, right? If it gets sent to Amazon, they're not going to do anything about it. But even if you feel that way, if you're cynical, which a lot of us are at this point, especially now that we've been jaded, now that we've been screwed by this. When you think about it, if we have a petition that has been signed by 20,000. Nice. That's pretty good. 50,000. Holy, okay, that's a lot of people. 100,000. That's when news outlets are picking it up. That's when the Wheel of Time starts getting talked about in the media. And who cares about media coverage? Streamers, right? So even if our petition isn't going to blow the socks off of some Netflix executive when we send it to them, the media coverage that it garnishes will. So think about it that way, okay? But just in case you're skeptical, I highly recommend signing the petition. There's other ways that you can participate. You can submit fan videos. You can write love letters to the Wheel of Time. And we recommend amplifying news coverage. So I'll click on what this says. There are stories out there about the cancellation or about how fans are furious, about how the show was so good. How could they possibly cancel? Boost those stories by, for example, liking the links right on X or Blue Sky or whatever, by commenting on them, by replying to those links. Like, how you can comment on articles themselves. Yep. Do that. Share them, right? Like, post them if you're on some Wheel of Time Reddit, subreddit. I don't do Reddit. So, just amplify that stuff because, again, the more news coverage we get, the faster, the better chance we have of getting the attention of Apple or Netflix. And I don't know if you noticed, but Netflix just canceled The Witcher, so they are now needing a high fantasy show. Apple TV Plus doesn't have its own high fantasy show, so there are some streamers that it would make a ton of sense for them to pick up the Wheel of Time right now because it's a known quantity, and I feel like we just need to get it in front of them to convince them. So sorry, I just talked for a really long time. Winespring Tavern?
I have a question. So
yes.
I've heard that has actually worked for, is it The Expanse?
Yeah, Amazon picked up The Expanse.
And it also worked for Warrior Nun, I believe.
For one more season or something
like
that?
Yeah, I believe it got picked
Netflix
up for another season.
Another season.
Yeah.
But with The Expanse, did Amazon just continue with the same cast, the same everything? They didn't like start from day
No,
one. So...
and they finished it, and I don't want to say anything good about Amazon right now, but I was very grateful because I'm an Expanse fan, and they finished it, and they followed the like spirit of the books, which is a good thing, you know, about the Expanse, and it did really well. So I think your question is like, is it even worth it for another streamer to pick it up, and would they continue the thing that we love? And the answer is yeah, that's how it goes. That's if it happens, it's rare, but if it happens, that's how.
What's that called? Precedents has been set.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, are you the lawyer in this co-host triumvirate? You could.
There is precedents here.
Lucifer also, yes, that happened there. So I'm trying to think. Oh yes, and if you had the question, if you did sign the renew Watt petition, this one is new. Okay, so that one was directed towards Amazon. It fell on deaf ears, apparently, and it did get a lot of buzz, like, while it was going on. This one is slightly different. That one it was like, if you signed it once, like, 5 letters got sent, and we were keeping track of how many letters got sent. This one, you sign one time, it'll count as one, so when we're like, there's 100,000 signatures, it'll be like, that's 100,000 people. That's crazy. So, like, sign it. Tell your friends to sign it. If they haven't even watched The Wheel of Time, be like, you're missing out and you want to know how you get more seasons, you sign this for me. Also, maybe just do it for a birthday present. Like, spread the word. Okay.
So this is something I have to ask, and you're hitting it like right on the head right now.
Okay.
So with these types of petitions and for like other shows, could this be like what these streaming platforms are expecting of fans to do for some of these? I mean, this is free publicity. This is free advertising, whatever word we need to use here, for these shows. So like they've put it in, they know that there's going to be like the Renew Watt. So that garnered more views, more watches, more shares, that kind of thing. They made more money because of us throwing a fit. And now we're doing it again, you know, so that hopefully another streaming platform will see it and pick it up. And so it's like, we're doing all this free advertising for them. I mean, it doesn't affect them at all. It's just us, you know, except for financially, which is what they care about. I know they're not worried about us. You know?
I think if what we do is impactful enough that they notice, you know, like that it's getting them money in some way, that could increase the likelihood of it getting renewed. And personally, like, no matter how pissed off I am at Amazon Prime, again, note, I'm not saying Prime Video but no matter how pissed off I am, if what we do here makes them like The Wheel of Time any better and makes them change their mind, then fine, we'll be besties. Like, love you for that, Prime Video. Right?
Fly me to Prague again, let's
literally, like, the people who are like, oh, she's such a shill, like, no, if I'm a shill for The Wheel of Time. I am not a shill for
very different
Amazon.
But, I mean, bottom line is it comes down to money, you know, and they said in the article that it had to do with, you know, budget constraints, which I call bullshit. Amazon makes more money losing money than anybody else makes money. I mean, it's ridiculous. They make money on top of money. So to say that is ridiculous. Now, I understand return on investment. I get that. I also don't think that they care.
I don't either. Yeah.
They honestly do not care about the community. To them, the community is there. It's free stuff, which is why they don't care if they keep going or they stop it, because it doesn't cost them any money. Oh, we pissed off, you know, X amount of people. They'll come back.
Yeah, half of us can't leave because we use the services.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's not actually hurting them.
It's sad. I mean, it's just sad. I don't appreciate bullies in any way, shape, or form, and to be kind of, you know, strong-arming an entire community, or just people in general at all times, because they do that. It's kind of bothersome to me.
Yeah. I'm seeing people in the chat talking about canceling Prime, and even though that's not like on the Save What campaign, that is when I found out about the cancellation, that was my immediate reaction, was to get onto TikTok and tell everyone to cancel their Prime. And I understand that for some people that's not possible, right? If you live in a remote area, whatever, like I get it. I personally probably have a package from Prime on my porch every single day. I'm not joking. Like, especially with a new baby, like
majority of people.
But I'm canceling Prime, and that's not to say that you have, like, it'll be a hardship. Don't worry about it, but consider ordering less from them. For me, I did cancel, and there's like an exit interview thing that you can say why, and if you do cancel, you cancel the Wheel of Time. You know what I mean?
Let them know that Watt sent them.
Let them know that the Wheel of Time.
Everybody in chat who said that they canceled their Prime, did y'all do that? Did you let them know it was for the Wheel of Time? I would love to hear that.
Sends their regards, essentially. Yeah. Pete in Toronto, $5 Canadian, thank you. Does the thumbnail look to anyone else like all the characters are very disappointed with Sony and Amazon Prime Video? I hope so. I hope I communicated that.
And somebody brought up a good point. I think it was Lifeline Info. You can cancel your Prime and still order from Amazon the stuff you need. The only thing is you're going to miss out on the video portion. You're going to miss out on the shipping.
The 2-day shipping free. Yeah, some of it's free shipping anyways. It's just not 2 days. So you could even just cancel, send the message, and then if you find that it's a hardship, start it again. You know what I mean?
Use one of your fake emails.
But also, before I canceled Prime itself, I went in and canceled my ad-free, because I did ad-free for the Wheel of Time on Prime Video. I canceled that first so that they would get that little statistic, and then I canceled Prime Video or Prime. So there's so many things that you can think of. And again, I'm not sure if we have any chance with Amazon. Like, the fact that they let it go, it feels to me like a bit of a lost cause. What I'm hopeful for is getting enough press, getting enough excitement, getting everything going so that other streamers see that this is a valuable thing that they could take advantage of. Like, I'm happy to be taken advantage of. Take advantage of the existing fan base and grab it and do more. Pete in Toronto, 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Nice. Thank you. Farah A writes, I wrote, "You Forsaken, you took the Wheel of Time from us." Oh, good.
Well
Thank
done.
You. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Diego Lomelli says, boycott the Rings of Power, massive accounts, especially in the day of the season starts. I don't want to wait that long. Personally, cancel Prime right now. Don't wait that long, because then they'll forget, right? And we need somebody to pick up the Wheel of Time now so that we can get a season 4, in 2 years or however long it takes,
Yeah.
So
What if we lose our showrunner?
I mean, if it means the Wheel of Time keeps going.
I was wondering how far, this would go.
It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Honestly, I just want the Wheel of Time.
I was about to say, I actually think that if it got picked up by someone else, I think Rafe would be back on board.
I would think so too, just because the fandom.
Rafe might be. I'm wondering if they would be like.
Oh, if they
would bring in somebody else instead of him.
Mm-hmm. I don't know though, because the show was well done. Like,
I was about to say, I don't see how they would justify that.
It did well. Yeah, it did well.
Really well.
There was a question for you in chat, Kritter, and it said, do you have any reactions from the actors?
Yeah, I saved a bunch on my phone because I was going to post about it on TikTok. So let me see if I can pull up Instagram. I was searching Madeline Madden, and I literally typed in Egwene. And that... that's so sad. Really...
Mayhem Markham just said, at least Sony still owns all the props and costumes. That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
All right. I'm just gonna bring it up now. Sony, I want you to pick it up, or whoever.
Well, Sony owns it, right?
But don't disappoint me like you've done with myriad other things that you
don't Spider-Man us.
Yeah, don't Spider-Man us. Don't freaking Star Wars Galaxies us. Don't screw up another IP.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm going to show you all again. Madeline Madden's post on Instagram. She is
for sure.
She really is. Okay, so Madeline Madden posts from season 2, which was her season. Let's be honest. Bringing Egwene to life has been the highlight of my career. I've learned so much about myself from playing her, and experiencing the world through her eyes has been the biggest gift. She'll always be a part of me. I'm immensely proud of everyone's work and what we accomplished over the years. Everyone poured their hearts and souls into bringing this wonderfully rich world to life. Thank you to all our wonderful fans whose support and belief in us has been so overwhelming. And then there's my comment right there at the top, because I love her and I don't want to lose her. Was Priyanka's a story, or I'll see if I can find Priyanka's too. But somebody asked if this was just wishful thinking or if this is realistic. I'm going to say both, right? We can only hope. We can only dream. We can only fight our asses off. And if it happens, then it will be a miracle. But it'll be our miracle, the miracle that we made happen through grit and determination. So just think about that. Anytime somebody asks you, anytime you're thinking, maybe I'll not sign that petition, sign it. Takes 5 seconds. Okay, pulling up Priyanka.
We have a question. Would we sacrifice Rosamund Pike?
Well, we're not going to do
still get the rest of it.
Spoilers. I'll just say I wouldn't call it a sacrifice, but
well done.
No, I mean, but
you did it.
I think she's amazing. I think she's the reason a lot of people were watching the show. But she is not a necessary figure for the completion of the Wheel of Time, just because the Dragon Reborn is the guy. So I would hate to lose her, but I could. It'd be like cutting off my arm to save my head or whatever. What is that phrase? That's like a phrase.
It's
right?
close enough.
Okay.
I mean, we all know what you're saying here.
Two birds in a frying pan or something. And a
wow,
rock.
that's completely not at all.
You guys, I gotta say, I still am in shock. I know I'm just kind of sitting here what? It's because my brain is still not fully accepting, I think, that it's canceled.
Every time I think about it, I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
At no point did I think they were going to
start
cancel
crying.
it, but I was not surprised that they did, based on the behavior of Amazon.
Well, and they took so long. I mean, there were some red flags coming up.
Yeah, there were huge red flags, which leads me to this. They knew it was coming. Like Rafe and Rosamund and all of them had to know it was coming because of the way they filmed season 3.
I don't think there was any closure at all.
There wasn't closure, but they tried to wrap up some stuff, and I was like, but I didn't like you had Valda, you had Loyal, Samael. They made no sense when we watched them, and we all said it. Wow, that didn't make any sense. Swan, for God's sake,
this is not the book.
Didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, if they knew that they were getting a season 4 and 5, do you think it would have been shot differently?
Honestly, no. I feel like they got rid of Sophie because he was like, we were going to continue, and her future plot was going to be weird for her. And she it was very forward thinking. Like, we're not going to put Sophie Okonedo playing the second fiddle to these much younger, less experienced act. Like, there was a lot of forward thinking. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but that's what it was in the books. If that's the case, then that's an actor not wanting to act, and I don't see Sophie being that kind of person, because in the books that's exactly what happened. You had Swan, the Amerlin seat, get relegated to being Egwene's mentor / secretary, damn near.
Yeah.
So it was part of the gig going in.
Yeah. But
we
again,
have a fancy chat.
We do have a fan. Thank you, Winespring.
We have a fancy
okay,
chat.
so we've got Light Blinded Fool, super chatted $10. Thank you so much. What do you think of taking the top 50 to 100 scenes / chapters from the rest of the books and having content creators make whatever they want as tribute to those scenes as a collaborative effort? Is this like in a save what capacity, or just like if we don't get it, this would be
make our own?
This would be our way to make our own. I mean, either way, I think it's a cool idea. It is a really cool idea. I would do that. That's a really cool idea. I don't know. Were you thinking for save what, like doing it like rapid fire? And I also saw somebody recommend that we watch Lauren's video. I will play it and just hope that we don't get taken down. How about I'll play it right at the end of the stream, just in case it takes us down automatically. But let's see. What can we do to bring Wheel of Time's attention to the Emmy nomination committee? For now, I'm just thinking, like anything that's on the Save Watt website, like bringing attention to boosting Sharon Gillam stuff, talking about the costumes online, just like anything you can to talk about the Wheel of Time and keep it in the conversation is going to help. Everything, the renewal, the Emmys, all of that. And let's see. Sorry, I am trying.
Like, guys, I was so surprised that they canceled it because, I mean, I was receiving so I'm in I participate with different, communities other than just Wheel of Time on social media. And all of these communities, there were multiple people, different types of people messaging saying how much they loved it. This season took off. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Whoa, I didn't read the books, but this is great, and that is oh man, how everybody loved it.
I know.
What were they thinking?
Mr. Kritter really, really liked it, and he's we've talked about this, kind of a book cloak. He really liked it. He has the book cloaks. He's not severe book cloak, but the book cloaks, some of them have been won over. Okay.
He's not book cloak, so he's like book capelet. It's not a full cloak.
Something like that.
It's a book blog.
So I just couldn't believe it. I will say
this, that one of the things that I use to measure how good a show is doing is content creation, right? If I'm seeing it a lot, that means something's popular. Over the last 3-4 years, since 5, I don't even know how long it's been. How long has it been since it was 21, right? The first one, 4 years then?
Yeah.
First season came out in 21. So the last 4 years, roughly, it's been our community, the people that I know, that that Kritter knows, that Winespring knows. This year, the increase and the uptick in content creators covering the Wheel of Time rose exponentially. I was seeing 5-10 new faces almost every week with content covering the Wheel of Time, which I love. And so I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I mean, this reminds me of, not to go all weird on us, but this reminds me of the NFL. And when all of a sudden they were hiring and firing coaches left and right, because if they didn't win a Super Bowl within 3 years, they were out. And it didn't make any sense. You can't build something. You know what I mean? And the fact that we were increasing, we were doing better every year. And we were doing better than shows that have been out there for a while, that already had a big fan base, is mind-boggling that they would do this. I mean, it's upsetting.
So I've got some. That's what I was looking away, and I didn't mean to be rude.
No,
but
good.
I've got some of the crew's reactions, so we can go, or cast and crew. So let's talk about it. So first, we've got Priyanka. It's been a ride to have been chosen for something that gave me so much joy. It wouldn't have been the same without this exact crew. Strong women representative. So she's amazing. Kira did okay. Forever proud of everyone involved with the Wheel of Time. Thank you for all the love and support. She's posing next to her Elaine, probably her dressing room, which is really nice. This is, guys, it's not over. I'm just posting these for now, and we can look back and be like, how sweet was that when we thought it was gone, but it's not really. Okay, we've got Ayula in her stories. She was responding to someone who said, we keep asking for representation. When we finally get it, they cancel it halfway through. The Wheel of Time gave us powerful women, layered stories, and a cast that looked like the world we live in. We protect the people we love, no matter the cost. Maureen. It's not just a show, it's what it stood for. Guess it's time to cancel my subscription. And Ayula says, thoughts to come, but thank you all for all the support and love over the years. It's been an honor. Ayula played Avienda. It sucks. We've got Jay Duffy, who played Mr. Bornhold. Very grateful to have been invited on board the journey that was the Wheel of Time. Thank you to the wonderful crew and cast who I had the pleasure of working alongside these past few years. Special thank you to all the fans for watching and for the love and kind words. Sorry, this is like so. Oh, actually, there was one more I want to show you before I do one that I thought was kind of interesting. The guy who played, gosh, I'm forgetting his name, and now I feel like a jerk. The guy who played Samael. Anyone remember his name?
Samael. I can't remember his real name now.
Thank you, Samael. That's how I've always said it in my
I'm
head.
sorry, I didn't mean to correct.
No, it's literally how I always. It's. You're right.
We're all grieving.
I mean, it's not like you said Nineveh or something like that.
I know, which is what I would say. Samael actor. I'm just gonna Google it, y'all, because you know what? Brian Steele. That sound right to you guys? Let's see. Does that sound right, or is that just like the internet?
Like I said, I honestly have no clue what that guy's name is.
I follow him on Instagram. You guys surely have it by
Cameron
now.
Jack.
Cameron Jack. Why did Google tell me
Thanks,
Brian?
Well, I was about to say that's nothing like what you said.
Okay.
Very close.
So this one was really, really nice. Hands down, the most wonderful experience of my career was playing Samael in season 3 on the Wheel of Time. It was truly an honor. Absolutely gutted for my brilliant colleagues that there won't be a season 4. There were so many stories left to tell. I hope that the show is picked up elsewhere, as the talent in front of and behind the camera is frightening. Thanks to Rafe Judkins, Just Jewel, Remy Park TV for the wonderful guidance to my amazing agent, and a huge thank you to the casting for my favorite gig. So even though he was just there, like, ever so briefly, he got to wield an epic hammer, and it was his favorite. Isn't that nice? So, okay.
Guys, it was canceled? What?
I know, literally what? So this is the one that I thought was interesting, and it's since been deleted. So apologies if I'm not supposed to be posting this, but...
Yeah, Lightblend, if it was 200, I believe it was 250 or 260 for the first 2 seasons, and then 3 something for season 3, I believe, right?
It's a lot of money, y'all.
Yeah.
Not as much as another fantasy series that they do.
Not as much.
Oh my gosh, Joe White absolutely gutted because it was Samael.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So we've got something from Taylor Napier from Blue Sky that I don't think he has a Blue Sky account anymore. He says, "Don't bother with HBO. We are far too close to Game of Thrones for them, and it's just not something they do. Apple, maybe, ...
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, do y'all have a streaming platform you would prefer to pick it up? I know it will take, like, almost anybody. Maybe
not
like
Netflix.
Like, okay.
I'm going to say not Netflix because Netflix is notorious for canceling shit in the middle of really
good point,
run.
actually.
They do it like it's like breathing to them.
But if they pick
it's ridiculous. Apple TV though has some really good stuff.
Apple TV doesn't miss. So if
and they don't have a problem putting money into it.
That's the one I want. And Grant, again, Annie, please, God, Paramount Plus, come on. Like I'll take it. Like, great, love you. But Apple's like the golden child right now. Yeah. They make
people
everything.
Saying Apple doesn't have enough people getting Apple TV Plus, but maybe Wheel of Time would help Apple TV get more subscribers.
I don't care if it's the Peacock, whatever.
I have Peacock.
I do too. I do too. The WB. I'll take the freaking WB. All right.
Oh my gosh, it actually could become a CW show.
Oh
all the trolls in my comments, all the trolls being like, "It's a CW show." Now I can be like, "You're right.
Worth it?
You're
Is
right."
it worth it?
To be fair, like CW shows get like 24 episodes a season. At least they did when I was watching Vampire Diaries like 10 years ago.
Are they going to call it One Tree Dragon? What's it going to be?
One Tree Dragon.
No, it would be called
there's a Hulu.
Two Rivers Kids. I don't know. I did watch CW shows as well. Glenn, the geeky hippie, you're not alone. I've watched many CW show in my day, so no hate to the CW.
I wasn't hating on CW. Channel? I was going by the quality.
Oh, frankly,
of what comes out.
I love Vampire Diaries. I was a huge Vampire Diaries fan.
Really?
Stuff at all.
Yeah,
I love it. I didn't watch it either.
Yeah, I did. I sure did. AMC Plus. Yeah, give us something like rando, like Stars, right? Who has Stars? I would get it. I would get it for Wheel of Time.
Right. We would take Hello Stars. Hi, subscribe.
Can we talk? Like, let's talk.
For the Wheel of Time, I'd take Skinamax. I don't care. And
oh
whatever.
my God, could you imagine? Alana's character gets so much more.
She would have her own show.
The haters would hate that.
Warders After Dark.
I forgot one other cast reaction that I I saved but do. Okay, so we've got the twins, Matt's little sisters. We bury our dead and we move on. In the grief of the news regarding season 4, we celebrate the memories of season 1. We were so blessed to work with the most amazing people, including our beautiful on-screen mom, Juliet Howland. Aw. And our fantastic on-screen dad, Christopher Syreff, as well as Barney Harris and several others, and the wonderful Marcus Ruda. We are eternally grateful to the Wheel of Time for giving us the opportunity to be a part of the Wheel of Time family, and the cast and crew for making us family. Now, in our grief, we bury our dead and we move on. No, we don't, actually. We are keeping our dead with us, and we are bringing it back to life. So
we're gonna put strings and ropes on those limbs, and it's gonna be like a marionette. We're gonna keep that buddy dancing.
Oh my gosh, Hopper from Theoryland, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I'd watch it if they put it on the Food Network. Winespring could host. Sorry, y'all. I see that it dropped them. I'll bring them back. Bubbles of evil abound tonight. Oh my goodness. I wish I was here for their reaction.
Winespring could host, and we're gone.
Okay, you're back. You're back. They're still reacting. I'm glad.
Let's go. I will narrate.
Welcome to the Wheel of Time. Last time we made a nice souffle, and this time we're gonna work on a soup.
Oh man, the laughing is gonna make me cry, you guys.
Yeah, you know, honestly,
I'm topping out.
I hadn't thought about Hulu, but like the Hulu Disney Plus combo wombo right now, they got a lot of money. Handmaid's Tale is ending. You know, it could be like the Secret Lives of Two Rivers Wives. That'd be fun.
Oh God,
the Secret Lives of Fishwives.
Women's Circle of Two Rivers, sort of like the Housewives of Atlanta, but you just make the women's circle of whatever, and they have different ones.
We're getting way too far afield.
All right, so I will say, okay, I'm gonna throw this out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying this is the reason, but Annabelle, the haunted doll, is on tour across the country, and so it might have something to do with it. That's all I'm putting out there.
I missed what you just said.
Do you not know Annabelle?
No.
The doll, Annabelle?
The doll, Annabelle? You don't know about the doll, Annabelle?
You don't want to know.
I don't.
They had movies. What were the movies called?
Annabelle?
No, they had. Anyways, it's like these paranormal, like exorcism people, and they go and they deal with items that are haunted. And this is a real thing. They made movies about it, but it's real. There's an actual Raggedy Ann doll that has to be put in a case and blessed and sealed and all of this stuff. And they took her on tour. Which they said never to remove her from this secure location. So she's been on tour, and she went into Louisiana, and within days, like it was a big prison break and an old plantation, like a slave plantation, burned to the ground.
That's right.
Like while she was in Louisiana.
Okay.
And so now as she's traveling up through the east, I don't know, it's weird. Anyways, so I'm blaming Annabelle for the loss of Wheel of Time.
Okay.
Wow.
Frankly, like before we found out about the cancellation and we were talking about, you know, like John from What Up posted something like they're close to a deal. It's going to be sad.
I remember that.
It's going to be sad for book fans, but it's going to be better than expected. Yeah. So we're like, okay, we're going to get a renewal for 2 seasons, but that's going to be it. There's only going to be 2 left.
So what could they do in that short
what could they do in that short amount of time? And then and then it's actually just a cancellation. But honestly, I'm seeing some people in the chat being like, you know, they were talking about doing 8 seasons, but we could do it in 6. Like, yeah. Honestly, if Netflix picks it up and they're like, okay, we promise 2 more seasons, but that's it, I'd be like, great, love you for that. Like, give me my Wheel of Time.
You know honestly. What I would be happy with a trilogy of movies.
I've heard other people say that actually.
Would totally be
that'd be amazing.
100% with a trilogy of movies. You could get it done.
You absolutely. Well, yeah.
I will go to the theater and pay for it.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, well, let's not do book spoilers, but like I have in mind like exactly what could happen in each movie already. Yep. You know, it's not hard to figure out because there's big stuff that happens in the books, like huge things, and everything else could just go away, get washed away. Oh my gosh, why are there so many bubbles of evil today? I'm going to lose my mind. Streamlabs and me, we are fighting, y'all. We are fighting. Bringing them back. I don't know what's going on. I think
this is
Annabelle.
Does Amazon own Streamlabs? Is that what's happening?
So I'm gonna switch to StreamYards. So
I couldn't be on the other show, The Way of the Leaf last night. But I did log in because I wasn't feeling great, and so I did log in to watch them for a little bit. And somebody brought up what about an anime type show, right? Sort of like what's the one on Netflix that we all love with
Critical Role.
Oh, what?
Is it
Right?
what's it called? Arcane? Yeah,
Oh,
Arcane.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
An Arcane style version of the Wheel of Time would be insane. I would freaking love that.
Yeah,
I mean, I would take anything.
That's been Mr. Critter's thing, along with the book cloaks. Let's do an anime.
I don't know about an anime. Well,
I'd watch it.
I'd watch the hell out of
it
it.
depends on the
Sorry.
style of anime.
I'd watch the hell out of it. Mel, I agree that the movies would take away some of the world building, but like again, if it's
We've had a lot of
if
that.
it's the only choice,
Yeah.
yes. If we finish finish the story, honestly, let's pull up Save Watt again. Let's finish the story.
I
Finish
mean,
the story.
how
deserves to be
badly
told.
did the world building issue affect the Lord of the Rings movies or the Hobbit movies? Because they kind of went right through a lot of the stuff in both those trilogies, and nobody complained about, at least not to my knowledge. I mean, I'm pretty sure Book Cloaks bitched about a bunch of stuff for those movies.
Oh, for sure.
But your average Joe didn't complain about world building in any of those.
Yeah.
I mean, they were phenomenal freaking movies.
And I watched them without reading the books, and they were great.
And to Twitter's dismay, and probably I might get smote. I don't know the proper word here. I've never watched the extended
we have a
versions
guest.
of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Actually, you know what's funny is Jessica said I hadn't either before we did our podcast. Oh, and with all of that being said, let's give me a moment. I'm going to switch over to a 4-person page and then bring on Malkir's King.
Hello,
Welcome
hello.
to the Wheel and Chill Show for your first time ever being on the show, correct?
Yes, it is my honor and pleasure.
Cheers.
Welcome.
Welcome. So
very
today
much.
we have a guest who has been deeply involved in the Renew Watt and now Save Watt campaigns. And he is a longtime member of the Wheel of Time fandom. And as I usually do, I'm going to toss it over to you to talk about your experience with the fandom, your experience with the books, and just anything else you want to do to introduce yourself before we dive in.
Wow. Okay. So I've been reading the books since 1995. It's been a long time. And as with most of us, I've done a reread every time a new book came out, and multiple times since they stopped coming out. I've been a member of Twitter of Time since before it was Twitter of Time, when it was just a bunch of us random fan accounts just noticing that we existed and interacting with each other.
Way back in the 80s.
Way back. back in 89.
Back in 89, right.
And my thing for a long time was just doing crazy shirtless sword forms in the woods and posting videos of that.
We all have our thing.
Why
Yeah.
Tried that pantless, but they wouldn't let me post it. It was weird.
Wrong platform.
Yeah, it was weird.
Okay,
OnlyFans didn't exist. I'm just saying.
So, longtime member of the Wheel of Time fandom. And what did you do when you found out there was going to be a show?
After I stopped screaming,
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I started just rapidly following every single possible show related account that I could. Back in the very early days, things were very, very loose, and Rafe was posting stuff all over the place and posting pictures of things and things from the writer's room, and there was so much information that we internet sleuths could find out from that. I think at one point we were able to actually pinpoint the exact location of the writer's room based on one of the pictures that he had posted from it. It was pretty crazy.
It's beautiful.
But we were, we were very passionate fandom.
Well, that hasn't changed.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
That has not changed.
You guys
Okay,
built
so
a great foundation for that.
so presumably, given your involvement in the Renew Watt Save Watt campaigns, you have enjoyed the show thus far, correct?
I have. It's one of these interesting things. I will be one of the first to admit that there are a lot of changes from the show. In fact, I'll probably be after Rafe, because in the very beginning he kept saying, "Gird your loins, it's going to be different." but to me, they've still captured the essence of the story.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I appreciate about this is that it's fresh. I have something to look forward to, and I can be surprised, right? And that was one of the things about the original Game of Thrones, is that it was surprising. It was something that kept drawing you back. It kept you on the edge of your seat. You didn't know what was going to happen. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about the show, that it's not dogmatically page to screen, because as much as there are some things that I would really enjoy seeing directly from the books, I feel like it might get stale.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anything would get stale for me, Wheel of Time wise, but knowing everything, like, I do think it is more exciting because we don't know exactly what's going to happen, right? As book readers, we go in and it's like, I am more excited every time the episode comes up because anything could happen, right? It's not like, okay, well, we're coming up on Shadar Logoth, which means X, Y, and Z, right? Because anything could happen.
Right.
So here we are, canceled. Well, actually, you did the Renew Watt campaign before this. You were like one of its big founding fathers, okay? Yes. As I don't know if that's the right verbiage. But how do you feel about how that went, right? Because there was that massive letter sending campaign. I feel like the fandom and the cast and everybody got involved. Like, how did you feel about that as it was happening?
I honestly did not believe that it would make a significant impact, but I felt that it was necessary to try.
Okay.
I felt that if Amazon was going to decide, if Amazon and Sony were going to decide to part ways, which they clearly did, then it was going to be for a financial reason, and it was a real long shot that getting the fandom to show them how important it was going to actually change anything. That being said, sometimes something is important enough that even if you know you're going to fail, you still have to try. And it was very difficult to get people really engaged in it because the season was still going on, and there was no sign, there was no outward sign that indicated that things were going to go south. And in fact, a lot of people were saying, well, look, it took Rings of Power how many months after the season ended for them to get the green light for the next season? So there wasn't a sense of urgency.
I mean, I'm guilty of
I
that.
get that.
I thought it was inevitable. I was like, how could they not? That would be the dumbest thing. Like, I literally had no words.
There was that Forbes article. There was that Forbes article 2 weeks ago about our campaign saying that fans are panicking and there's no reason. And then a couple days ago, he said, well, I was wrong.
Right.
Yeah, I just read that article today. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty, I mean, what made you, and I'm curious about this because I was thinking about this over the weekend. What made you start the Renew Watt campaign before we knew anything was amiss? What was the feeling that you got that said, hey, we need to really start pushing this?
Right. So I'm a lot of people have developed friendships with various members of the cast and the crew and other show related people over the years. And one person who I talk to on a somewhat regular basis, who is a series regular, gave me some information that led me to believe that things might not be as happy as everything seemed on the outside, despite the success of season 3. Like looking at season 3, especially after episode 4, everything seemed like, oh my God, this is amazing. How could they not? But even after episode 4 came out and getting this information, I was like, well, I'm going to hedge my bets and let's try to show the studios just how grateful we are for what they've done and how much more we really want to get going.
Yeah. So here we are, canceled.
Here we are.
You saw it coming in a way that many of us did not in any way and are still in shock and disbelief about. So we already talked about the Save Watt website, but that was at the beginning of the stream and we can do it again. So what do you think, what are you doing and what would you encourage people to do to save what? To get this show brought back in some capacity.
So I think the biggest thing that people can do is to engage. There are media outlets, entertainment platforms that are writing articles about the Wheel of Time, about the cancellation, about the campaign. I think it's very important for as many people as possible to interact with those articles, both on the social media and on their own websites. I'm not sure if you had mentioned this, but when you go to the actual article and comment on the article, that encourages that platform to write more articles about it.
Yeah.
And that more articles means more media press.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing that we can do as fans is to garner very large media press, media coverage. Sorry. Just get as much media coverage of this as possible, because presumably Sony is shopping out to other streaming platforms to see who they can get to pick this up. And the more media coverage we have, the easier it is for another streaming platform to say, you know what, I think that is a good idea.
Right. So we've got in the to put a pause on this, Alchemist 1330, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Avid fantasy reader, but hadn't read Wheel of Time yet. After the season 1, I was deterred, but after season 3, I was extremely hyped to read the series even before the cancellation. I'm sad now, less people will be enticed to read it. So yeah, there's two ways, right? Some people really want to know what's going to happen, so maybe they will read the books, which is the one little glimmer of, like, I don't know, it's a consolation prize, right? Because of course we want more people to read the books. On the other hand, yeah, there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I was going to pick that show up. I was going to binge the whole show for the first time next week. I guess I won't now. And that's the stuff that's like, God damn it. That's the stuff that pisses me off.
Well, and there's also the people that are show only, right? That want to read the books. I also worry, although I'm of, the thought that the books are way better than the show, although the show stands on its own. So, I fell in love with the books. We all did. I worry sometimes that show only people will start reading the books, realize that it's not the same as the show.
Yeah.
And be kind of put off by that as well. Now, if they're avid readers, they'll just keep going, hopefully, and stick with it.
So they realize that it's incredible, but
there was a question that popped up earlier, and since Melchior's King is here, I'm gonna throw that out there. Somebody asked that. Let me see if I can find it. It had to do with do you all think that fantasy shows in general are in jeopardy at this point in the genre's game? I don't know what else to put that, but you know what I mean.
I saw an article about that, actually, that it was like the heyday of fantasy streaming is over and the cancellation of the Wheel of Time is proof. So it's not good for anybody, I don't think. Sorry, Malkir's King, that was for you. But no, there was an article about that today.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw the article. I didn't have a chance to read it yet. It's on my ever-growing to-read list. However, I don't know that that's the case. I would not say that's the case. In fact, you look at HBO, and HBO is starting yet another Game of Thrones spin-off.
Yeah.
Netflix just canceled The Witcher, but they gave it another 2 seasons to wrap up.
Yeah.
What?
And this is Netflix. We don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, Netflix is Netflix.
I think
that's why.
As much as we all like to think that decisions like this are purely based on numbers, if you look at this, I feel very strongly that this was an emotional decision. Amazon had the Rings of Power and the Wheel of Time, and Rings of Power is their baby, right? Bezos spoke at their premiere.
Yep.
By the numbers, Wheel of Time is doing significantly better than Rings of Power.
Like wildly.
So, and with like a quarter of the budget. So if you're looking just based at the numbers, it doesn't make sense. So it was really an emotional thing. They didn't want to be spending more than they were already spending, and they wanted to be focusing their budget on the Rings of Power. I think that's what it came down to.
Do you think? And I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, unless you have something. Okay. Do you think that people would lose their minds, or just like the world itself would lose their collective shit if they canceled Rings of Power instead of Wheel of Time? I mean, given where, you know, the hierarchy of fantasy books, right?
It's hard to say. I've seen a significantly more negativity about Rings of Power online than I have about Wheel of Time. The Lord of the Rings fans are much harsher critics than even our book cloaks are.
They're pretty bad. Yeah.
And
book cloaks are pretty harmless, honestly. They're pretty dumb. They recycle the same points over and over.
Right. And as I said on Twitter, I'm really looking forward to becoming an Apple TV shill.
Can't wait.
But I digress. Rings of Power, season 1 wasn't. I think it didn't have as high of a ratings as Wheel of Time season 1 did, and then their viewership dropped dramatically to season 2. So I really think I think it's more that this is where they wanted to put their money into.
Yeah, being a fan of both shows, because I'm not going to knock Rings of Power.
Yeah, I mean, we cover Rings of Power.
Yeah, I was about to say
we enjoy it.
Are we still going to do that?
Yeah, we enjoy it. I mean, but overall, what I gathered from the fans were people would talk about the Wheel of Time, whereas from the Rings of Power show, people would talk about certain actors and their delivery in certain scenes, not as a whole. You know, they would kind of talk about certain aspects of it as opposed to saying, "Oh, the Rings of Power is this great." It's not the same.
Yeah, like for me, the Sauron stuff. Give me the Sauron stuff. I'll take it all day.
Celebrimbor, I screwed that name up. Celebrimbor, yeah.
You're pretty close.
Freaking outstanding performance by that actor.
Overall, though, Wheel of Time.
Yeah, but overall, Wheel of Time.
Love it more. Yeah. And again, I don't think so. I've gotten some flack, right? Or I personally haven't gotten some flack specifically, but I have seen flack being given passively on X and other platforms about Rings of Power fans being like, we supported Wheel of Time fans and now they're throwing us under the bus, right?
Not
and
really.
But I haven't seen anybody doing it.
Well, I mean, in my comments there are people like, cancel Rings of Power. You know, cancel Rings of Power so we can have Wheel of Time. And I don't.
I have seen it.
Yes,
you have to.
That is a thing that's happening, and that I just want to be clear that the Wheel of Chill show, to speak for all of us and tell me if I'm wrong, we enjoyed Rings of Power.
Yes.
We are happy for the fans of the Rings of Power and that they are not dealing with what we're dealing with right now. I would love it if Prime Video, and I'll use Prime Video in this hypothetical scenario, had a fantasy show tentpole like situation that included both the Wheel of Time and the Rings of Power. They could be the fantasy mega, behemoths, but instead they choose to put all their eggs in the Rings of Power basket, and we're upset. We're upset about that. We don't hate Rings of Power. Right now, we hate Amazon, but we don't hate the Rings of Power. So just want to be clear about that. Would we combine the proposed, apparently, lesser budget of the Wheel of Time with the Rings of Power budget, divide them in two, and split them between the two? Absolutely. We would totally do that. Like, give us some of your budget, Rings of Power, but we're not hating on Rings of Power, okay?
No. It's like going to a 3-ring circus and walking inside and only seeing one ring on the inside. You're missing stuff. And it said we could have 2 more rings of stuff, but we have one.
Yeah.
Also, even though ostensibly Amazon made it a zero-sum game by canceling Wheel of Time so they could focus their budget on Rings of Power, it is not actually a zero-sum game. We can have Rings of Power and the Wheel of Time. That is a possibility.
Yes.
And we are working for a future where that exists.
Yes. Like, I'm not saying, again, Prime Video, I'll use that name again. If you bring it back, We will be friends. I will shill like crazy for you. But for now, no. F you. Okay, $5 super chat, Joe White. Apple TV is fine, but I am someone's earlier idea. Winespring hosting Two Rivers and a movie on Food Network. Okay. I love Apple TV. That's my big hope. Do you have a preferred streaming platform, or are you like me and you just take it however they'll give it to us?
I would take it however they give it to us. I think Apple makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they have the money to throw at it. They are willing to throw the money at it. They're currently losing $1 billion a year in their streaming services, and they don't seem to care.
It's Apple.
$1 billion is a rounding error for their
the most profitable corporation in the world, I believe.
They're looking to grow their market share, and right now they're 7 or 8% of the streaming market. Wheel of Time would bring to them a large chunk of viewership. Already.
Yeah. Like, not everyone has Apple TV Plus. Like, I do, because I'm a sucker for Murderbot and, everything that they do. Shrinking. Honestly, though, I haven't watched Ted Lasso, which is hilarious because it's one of their most famous.
I've not watched it either.
But I've watched so many of their other shows, and they're all incredible. So, like, bring it on. Give it to us. Give it to us. Any platform, though. Please. Pick it up. So I don't know how long we have you for. I said 15 to 30 minutes. Do you have a hard out that you have to leave? I don't want to keep you longer.
I can do another 15 minutes.
Another 15? Okay, we'll call it till 8:45. Great. So the Save Watt website. We haven't talked about that since the beginning of the stream, and we've gotten more people on here now. So let me show it. You won't see it, but you've seen it before, I'm sure. Again, Save Watt website. We've got petitions. We've got other recommendations, submitting fan videos, write love letters to the Wheel of Time, amplifying news coverage, which is Malkier's King mentioned. Amplifying news coverage is like huge because we want to get the word out. So Malkier's King, do you have like a timeline in mind? Obviously, we're not industry insiders, at least I'm not. But to me, it seems like the harder we go, the sooner, the better. If we haven't heard anything in a certain amount of time, like what's your window? What's your timeline look like?
So I don't have a hard and fast timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there is a specific window. My understanding from looking at past fan attempts to save shows, the ones that were successful and the ones that weren't, the biggest window is like a month or so after it gets canceled, because the longer it drags out, the less interested people are.
Mm-hmm.
And the more the talk of it dies down, the less likely other streaming services are to pick it up.
Yeah.
So our goal right now is to go heavy and go hard and really try to get as much engagement as possible in the upcoming few weeks.
I totally agree. Honestly, like as a content creator, I can't again speak for the industry, but like whenever the Wheel of Time season is ongoing, views, clicks, likes, shares, comments on like my stuff on this stream, on everything is like astronomically higher than when I don't even know if we can call it the longing anymore because we don't have anything to long for yet. But during the longing, everything tanks, right? And it's almost it's not immediate, but it's very soon after the season finishes airing. So I tend to agree with you. I think we've got like a month, maybe 2 months to just go super hard in the paint for any other former basketball players. Sorry if that's lost on some of you, but we go super hard in the paint for 2 months, 1 month ideally, and then pray, hope, send our signs up to the creator, whatever we need to do to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, the longer it drags out, and we're talking, like, for example, let's use Warrior Nun, for example, where it was quite a long gap. You start having to worry about the cast, right? Because at some point, if it gets to a certain point, you're going to have to recast pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
And start from scratch.
Yeah. Well, and when you think about it, some of the like heavy hitters, Rosamund Pike, right? She's a producer. Like, she's clearly invested in the Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
She's read the audiobooks. God, I hope she continues doing that no matter what. But like,
there was an article about that earlier, and I didn't get to finish reading it, about her and talking about the audiobooks, I think.
Well, if you find it, let me know. I agree. Time is of the essence, right? Because premier fantasy shows, premier shows in general, will go 2 years between seasons, and that's if they know that they're having another season. So the longer it takes, the longer we have to wait till season 4, right? And because that's the worst thing that'll happen is we have to wait longer for season 4. Not that it's gone forever, because I am in denial about that. It's not happening. But so I've had some people, Malakir's King, like even in the chat, say, "Is this realistic? Are we wasting our time?" What do you have to say about that?
It is absolutely realistic. We are not wasting our time. There's no way to tell whether or not we will be successful. There's no way to tell whether or not we're going to have any impact.
Mm-hmm.
But it has been done, and it can be done. And I have seen our small little fandom come together online for some great things in the past. I remember, I think it was before season 1 even came out. Amazon Prime Video had one of those polls online to see which show people were most excited to see, and the Wheel of Time won by like a huge margin.
Yeah.
And it's because our fandom got together and rushed to the polls and got the votes in. Now, yes, it was an online poll and not something of major substance. But the point is that as a fandom, when we get together, Like, we can do this.
Yeah. I mean, this is, granted, like, maybe I wouldn't have heard of these things, but this is the fandom that has not one dedicated convention. It's got 3, right? We've got Jordan Con, which started as, obviously, given the title, Robert Jordan, like, love. Obviously, it's expanded, and now it's bigger than that, but it started as a Wheel of Time con. We've got WatCon, made by fans for fans, and if you're not going to WatCon, you should think about it, because that's still coming up in July. We've got a lot to talk about, and hopefully we'll have a lot to celebrate, honestly, because by then I'd love to know that it's getting renewed somewhere else. And then there's Valkyrie Con, right? And that's the European con. So this fandom is so impressive and united and just, like, again, the best fandom there is. So I think if any show has gotten saved after cancellation, we can get saved after cancellation, given the fandom that we have at our backs, in my opinion.
Right. I think it was Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Jericho, The Expanse, Lucifer. These are all shows that were saved by the fans.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was not just online engagement, which is huge. They also did some major PR stunts, but the whole point is that the fandom got together and really called attention to the fact that they loved this show and wanted more of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we've got Aes Sedai in the Wild in the chat saying, if we don't try it, it definitely won't happen. So
100%.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to try. It costing us nothing to try this, right? I mean, all we can do is hopefully get something really good out of this. Hopefully somebody will listen. It looks like you said earlier, that Sony might be talking to other places, shopping it out, which is awesome. I mean, there are shows that are fantastic that never saw the light of day after they got canceled. I mean, look at Firefly, and that's, I mean, that's like the original
yeah.
But that's not going to happen to us because we're badasses and we're going to freaking move this forward.
We're going to fight.
Persevere.
Well, if you've got Bad Thought Studios in the chat, I've had a ton of people in my comments, book readers on TikTok, calling the show bad only after episode 1. Was that something that you came across all the time? The thing is I've read all the books multiple times. Book cloaks are everywhere. And I think it depends how you receive the show as a book reader, depends on how open-minded you are and how invested you are in certain plots and people, I guess. If you want Rand Althor's story as it is in the books, and by golly, if it doesn't happen, you're gonna hate the show, well, then you're gonna hate the show. So, like, but if you're flexible, if you're open-minded, if you want to see what happens, then you're gonna love it, I think. And because all of us are readers of the books, we've all read the books and we all love it. So that's where we're at.
Yeah. I've heard that episode 1 of season 1. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I also think there is a spectrum here, right? We're not a monolith.
Yes.
And it's not like you either love the show or you hate the show.
Yes.
There are a lot of book readers who they're not thrilled with the show, but they'll still watch it because it's a Wheel of Time, but it's some of them, it's not even that they don't like the fact that it has deviated from the books. They just don't like the choices that were made. The choices that were made on how to tell the story just didn't resonate with them.
That's literally my husband. and because season 3 has been more like the books, he's liked it more and more. So like, yeah, there are people out, and he still watches it and he still enjoys it, even though he's got some complaints that we talk about every time an episode airs. So yeah, I agree with you completely. We've got, I think it's Laura Silverbow. Your name isn't big yet in the chat, but I believe it's Laura Silverbow, $4.99 super chat. Keep it up with the little animated emoji. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Open pair.
Yes, we're trying, man. We're not going to stop. So don't forget, we've got the savewatt.com. If you haven't signed the petition, think about doing a fan video. Think about writing a love letter to the Wheel of Time. And don't forget, if you see people talking about it online, retweet, comment, go into the article that's linked, comment on that article, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Don't stop talking about it, and don't give up. Okay? Because whatever comes, we face it on our feet, don't we? I think we do.
That's a tagline.
That's tagline, exactly. All right, so Malkir's King, you stuck around a little extra. Before people leave the Wheel and Chill show, I always give them the floor to say whatever they want to say, plug whatever they want to plug, just kind of like give your final words in whatever way you want. So I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but I don't want to run you over. So if you want to do your final words, you are welcome.
Thank you very much. I don't have anything to plug because I haven't made any shirtless sword videos in a while.
Okay.
Although if you really are interested, you can always go look at my old Twitter media and find them. They're ridiculous.
I was about to say, you just popped up the other day.
Well, that was for the Renew Watt, wasn't it?
Oh, I did one for the Renew Watt.
Right.
I figured having something as a bit of a hook would be a little bit more conducive to getting people to actually watch the video. But no, I strongly encourage all Wheel of Time fans to just amplify the hell out of everything that gets posted regarding the Wheel of Time and the Save Watt, and not just retweet, but interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that does more than just spread the word of the campaign and the show. That brings us back to who we are as a fandom, right?
Yeah.
What makes us a cohesive fandom is that we've always engaged with each other. We always love talking about the Wheel of Time.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've said to the people who aren't thrilled with the show is, if you don't like the show, that's fine. We'll talk about the books. Just talk about the Wheel of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk about the Wheel of Time. Interact with each other. Don't get sucked into the book cloaks, to the people who are rude and disrespectful. Like, just ignore those people and just engage with the people who are willing to engage in good faith, positively, whether it's about the books or about the show. Just engage about the Wheel of Time.
Amen. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I know you've been doing a ton of work behind the scenes to get Save Watt, Renew Watt boosted as much as you can. So as a fan of the Wheel of Time show and books and community, I just wanted to say thank you for that, and thank you for coming on to talk about this, because it is a great cause and we need to save the Wheel of Time.
We do. Thank you for having me. This has been an honor.
I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for coming on.
Woo. Okay, so well, that was lovely. And yeah, let me just tell you, he's been a workhorse behind the scenes for this stuff. So it's him, and like this website. Shout out to Omar with Watt Series. He's done a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of people who are working really hard behind the scenes for this. I'm involved, but I'm one of those people that's like, nice, like good thought. Like, I love this for us, like that's a great idea.
Up engagement, though. That's good.
I appreciate that.
He's the kudos person.
I'm the honestly, it's like me at a trivia night. You know what I mean? Like, anybody need a beer? Great. Let me go grab some.
I'll get you a beer.
Yeah. So anyways, Glenn the Geeky Hippie said he's one of the nice people I've met in the fandom, and that is saying something. Farrah A, thanks to Makir's King. Yes.
He was the first other Wheel of Time fan that I met in the wild. I don't know how to word that.
Really?
Like,
where did you meet him?
Well, not literally. Like, so when I first read the books, I didn't know there was a fandom. So I started just blogging on mountainsofmist.com was my website. And that's where I released like the first honey cake mock recipe, like in 2015, 2013. I don't know, whenever that
I'm
was.
sorry, but you
were
have
like
not,
5 then.
You haven't. We don't have Winespring lore. This is our first foray into So Mountains of Mist blogging.
Do you go on?
Blog. It was a blog. It's it just that still just redirects to Winespring Cafe now. I just recreated it and just did recipe focused. It was still. Anyways, there's a lot there.
The fact that you have that domain at all is so cool. Like that's legit. Anyway,
so
keep
it was
going.
really fun. And Malkir's King came into my comment section and was just like, "Hey, I really enjoy your blog. This is great."
Wow.
And it wasn't until years later his profile photo was the same from the one comment I got in all the years that I did it. And
was
I
it
was like,
the old
oh
drawing
my gosh,
of land?
It was him. I was like, wow.
So when today when I was like, we've got Malkir's King, and you liked it, you were like, my God, that's the guy. Did you have that moment?
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's really
was it
funny.
the same? Was it the icon where it's like almost like a black and white of land, like a drawing?
No,
it's him, like his profile with the Hidori.
I thought it was him that he had a different one. Maybe it was somebody else. Damn it.
Maybe at one point he did, but the one I recognized, and when I joined X.
I think that's his X profile picture still.
Probably still, yeah. And it was the same one years and years ago.
Okay, I just typed in.
Whoa, there's other people who like the Wheel of Time. What?
Oh my God, guys! I just typed in mountainsofmist.com and it rerouted to winespringcafe.com.
Yep.
Her story is confirmed. That is.
I went around to bookstores. I went anywhere you could put a sticker. I had stickers and I put them in the Wheel of Time books. Like you guys, I was like, friends who like Wheel of Time anywhere. Hello.
What year was this again?
Oh, I need to look it up. Golly,
that's
every year
amazing.
I started reading the books because I finished them fast, and then I was like, need friends.
Okay, so like a decade ago, like what are we talking about?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. Oh my God.
Easily.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I
when
feel like
blogging was still a thing.
I feel like you just made us like more legitimate just by this story. You know what I mean? Like, guys, we've been Wheel of Time fans forever. Like, look at Winesprings. She's got the Mountains of Mist domain. All right. So yeah, Honest Cake says that's such a cool domain to have, and that's Honest Cake saying that, so it's true. So anyways, we have only like 12 or so minutes left. I promised that we would watch Lauren's video. Lauren's video is like 3 minutes, right? I watched it earlier. Now I'm like questioning myself about how long it is. Let me pull it up. Have you guys watched it yet, by the way?
No.
Oh, it might make you cry. Get out the sunglasses, honestly. Let me unraveling the pattern. It's an amazing, and again, it's stuff like this. So we're looking up unraveling the pattern on not Google, on YouTube. Thank you. Wrong search bar. It's stuff like this. Like if you see something, say something. If you see something, boost something, right? Like get it out there, share it, tell your friends, whatever. Because it's awesome. And the more views, shares, whatever that we get, the better for the show. Okay.
Are we about to cry? I looked over and there's sunglasses on.
Well, she told me to put my sunglasses on.
You might be about to cry. Okay, so if the stream gets taken down because of the audio that's playing, it shouldn't. But if it does, thank you for tuning in. This is amazing. If we're going to come back once it's over, if the stream doesn't get taken down. I just want to watch it before we sign off. So let me pull it up if I can, and then I'll get the right audio going. And sorry, this is just me being the tech girly. All right, so we've got that, and then we're going to turn on the audio. Boop.
I love that everybody's loving my Mountains of Mist.
That's amazing.
So
cool.
I can't believe I've never shared that before.
I can't
That's
either.
Wild.
Honestly.
You've been holding out. I'm not very happy with you right now.
You really have. Okay, we're gonna play it. You guys aren't gonna be able to see it, so if you want to pull it up on YouTube, you can. Otherwise, or you could watch it on the delay on YouTube, like on my channel. So okay, let's go. Just make sure it's muted. Yeah, make sure you're muted if you're watching it. Okay.
Sometimes fate seems so strong. Tide sweeping us along against our control. And sometimes it's as fragile as gossamer.
I can do anything! What does the prophecy say? What does the prophecies?
The wheel calls you to this, whether you can bear it or not.
What of the heroes of today? We are all the heroes of another age's legend. I think it's time we start acting like it.
The fate of all of us rests on you now. On the decisions you make in the coming days.
The only thing we have control over is what we do.
So what will you do?
We are the power. The light shines through us. That is the truth.
Soldiers don't win battles. What wins battles is being too dumb to know when you're beaten. Too stubborn to fall down and die. And too nasty to let the wheel crush you without jabbing a stick in its spokes.
All we can do is the best we can with the life that's given to us and take comfort from it. But no matter what happens, what pain we face, what heartbreak, the wheel keeps turning. Always.
There are neither beginnings nor endings to the turning of the wheel of time, but it was a beginning.
Well,
Wow.
guys, it can't be over. I'm sorry. It just can't. Like, it can't. So if you haven't seen that, or this is you seeing it for the first time, make sure to go to Unraveling the Patterns YouTube, like it, comment it, share it with your friends, get it out there, because I think this video is an incredible representation of the show. And, you know, it's got a call to action. It's just, here goes.
Yikes. Yeah.
That's rough. We can't lose it. Yeah, go like that video, y'all. Even if it means you leave here for a sec, come back, but like it. Make sure you get like it. Okay. I'm okay. I'm
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's fine. I'm used to crying on
You
camera
guys-
by now.
I just have to say to Chill Chat that I am here to save Watt and chew bubblegum, and I am all out of gum. That's for you, Wolf Brother. That was a request in chat. I didn't just come up with that out of nowhere.
That was amazing. It was delivered with such.
It was really amazing.
Gravitas.
It was amazing. It was.
Oh.
Anyways, what's the link to that vid? Can we get? Let's see, Daniel, who would you mind posting the link? I think you should be able to. I can't too. Let me see if I can get it on my phone. Anyways, yeah, that was rough. Especially just, I refuse to acknowledge that there's a chance that we're not going to have it back.
So he was serious about Sony maybe shopping around already?
I mean, they have to, right?
Yeah. Like.
It's an asset that they have, and if they're not doing anything with it, they're losing money on it.
Yeah, no. So Sony, I'm gonna try to give them props right now. I'm gonna try. Usually, when they get their little fingers on an IP, they will attempt to do things with it just to hold on to that IP. Hence, all the Spider-Man movies before Marvel came in and asked Sony to let them bring Spider-Man. And although I love the Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, they were Spider-Man. I mean, it was Sony just doing something with the IP so they wouldn't lose it. So yes, it would behoove them to utilize us to shop around and to get someone on board as quickly as possible. Like Kritter said, they're losing money, but it's also because it's free money for them. right? They have a ready-made fandom that is willing to not only watch what gets put out by them and follow and support the show, but is going to give them free advertising, which we consistently do as a fandom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've given more advertising for the Wheel of Time than Amazon Prime ever did, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it would be smart if they did that now, and hopefully they'll get a bite soon.
It is interesting. Miss Angela pointed out Sony put the Glass Columns video up on their YouTube channel the next day after the cancellation was announced. They're still posting about the Wheel of Time.
One of the best, if not the best, episode of TV ever.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
ever.
So if you haven't seen that either, Sony Pictures Television, there's a Wheel of Time video that was posted like yesterday, the Glass Columns video. Go like that. Go comment on that. Like, give us the Wheel of Time on another platform if Amazon doesn't want it. Whatever. Encourage.
Maybe they're trying to say that they're still pushing on. They're still, struggling.
Bids.
Yeah, like a subliminal, less than subliminal message that like we're not done with this.
What was the website again?
On
There's
YouTube.
so many Sony options.
Oh, Sony Pictures Television on their YouTube.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it could be based on Emmy stuff, but honestly, like the more Emmy buzz we get, the better for renewal. There's a lot that could right? There's so much.
But somebody has to submit for that, right?
They do. I believe they submitted Hills of Tanchico, didn't they?
Yeah, they've been, they said that the Deadline article, which I haven't shown here, but it basically explains the whole situation. I think the Deadline article specifically says that they're still committed to pushing Wheel of Time for Emmy stuff. So that would include costumes, Hills of Tanchico, whatever.
And wouldn't it be a hoot if they won a bunch of freaking Emmys and were like,
it'd be a feather in the cap for sure.
Not dropping any more F-bombs because I promised I wouldn't.
I appreciate that.
So I don't know if you saw in chat earlier, it was Zeus that I believe is who it was, said that when Stargate was going through something, one of the actors had allergies or something like that, and they were trying to figure it out. A bunch of fans sent the studio tissues. And I guess it helped relieve the situation.
Okay.
And I'm like, what can we send studios that doesn't break the bank if people want to do it, that wouldn't be overly harassing, that is labeled Wheel of Time, save what,
So that's interesting because there are currently it's percolating right now, and I believe Blinded Fool mentioned this in the chat, that there's talks about doing GoFundMes and stuff, or not GoFundMes, but whatever the one is that you don't have to support. Anyways, a crowdfunding endeavor to buy a billboard facing certain studios, right? In prominent locations, or a flyover, one of those prop planes that have the signs on them. We could
do one of those 24-hour streams like we do for other things to raise money.
Winespring, that's literally the one idea, the one original thought that I had when in this meeting. I was like, guys, have you seen the 24-hour live streams? They were like, oh, that's interesting. So me and you, same page, honestly. So keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Anything we're gonna Wheel of Time content creators far and wide are gonna be trying to boost Save What and all the things that Save What is coming up with to try.
All right, guys, you convinced me. I'm gonna release Grindelwald's nudes.
Yeah,
that's gonna get us.
Hashtag Save What.
I've been waiting.
Grindelwald's nudes are coming out now.
I've been waiting.
So, thank you, Dana LaHoo. She's got the link to the Sony video as well. So she posted the Unraveling the Pattern video above the link, and down more recently, we've got the Sony video. So any buzz you can give the Wheel of Time, please.
We need somebody to make it somewhere we could go and click and do something, go back and click and do it. Because hunting all these things down, I know that it would be easier for someone like me, who might get distracted or have something else happen, and I want to come back and finish the list of things.
So I believe the Save What has a let's see.
Fan love, maybe? No.
There's
not that.
Amplify News coverage. So and this isn't all of them, but in
Yeah.
the Amplify News coverage section,
I see
there
it.
are
Okay.
articles that are posted. Grant, obviously, this is not all the articles.
There's
but
3 of them. Yeah.
there's-
Okay.
I know. there's
Okay.
there's more. But yeah, I think you can kind of use this as your like touchstone. But then if you're just like sitting there like, I want to support the Wheel of Time, I literally just Googled like the Wheel of Time and then clicked on the news tab, and there's tons of articles about the Wheel of
that's a good
Time.
way
That you
of
can just
doing
kind
it.
of like click this one, type a comment, click this one.
All right,
type a
everyone
comment.
in Chill Chat. We have 202 watching right now. You now have homework. And your teachers, the 3 of us, will be grading you soon. So
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
I love grading stuff.
do your homework.
So
Report back.
I
Got a whole
hope
thing of red pens.
I hope beyond hope that this has encouraged rather than discouraged. I hope that we have started this weekend in a state of despair and that we are now in a state of tenacity, right? We are going to defeat this obstacle that Amazon has thrown at our feet, and it's going to be potentially, hard at times. It's going to take some clicks. It's going to take some typing. It's maybe going to take some money for those of you who can help contribute to things like billboards. But I think it's a worthy cause. I think personally, I mean, we all, if you're here in the chat, you probably love the Wheel of Time like we do. And we want to see season 4 because season 3 was so good. And if
we have a score to settle, you guys.
Yeah.
About Rand and the face he was making. I need to know which one of us is right.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, at the end?
Yeah.
With
Yes.
Dwayne?
yes.
Season 3 ended on a cliffhanger in
That's
a lot of
already
ways.
accepted defeat.
No, never. To me, no.
What's going on with Matt's memories, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things.
With Moghedien and Nynaeve, with
Did Moraine
Rand
get
and
healed?
Egwene. Did Moraine get healed? Did Lanfear get healed? There's so many things that we don't know, and we can only find out if there's a season 4. So
Yeah.
we have to have a season 4.
Was Samael spaghetti? I don't know.
Guys, our own stream tonight has given me hope again.
I'm glad.
I'm so
Good.
glad we did that.
I'm really glad. We weren't going to because it's holiday weekend, so I'm really glad we did too. Okay, so not sure when the next stream's going to be, but keep an eye on our socials because we're going to, I for one at least, I don't know, I can't speak for you guys, we're going to be blasting Wheel of Time stuff to try to get the attention of Apple or Netflix or Paramount or Hulu or whoever would be willing to take it. So please help us in this cause. So let's do final thoughts. Winespring?
I like it. I'm going to try and make a recipe for each one of those platforms and send it to them. That's my content. What else can I do? And then I'm going to go comment and like and engage with what's out there. So I'm glad for that, to have some direction, a course of action to take those steps. I hope more people will do that too, because this was really bad news. This is still shocking. It's still sad, still feels like surreal. I'm just not ready for it to be like the reality that we're just going to accept.
Yep.
So like, let's be a part of what could be, which is like season 4 through 8, let's just throw it out. Maybe, you never know.
Yes.
So how cool would it be to be a part of what makes that happens for like this, not just this fandom, but this work of art that we have before us, that is the Wheel of Time, and all of our friends that live there in that little world,
Yeah. In the words of Blinded Fool, wheel and no more chill.
We are out of chill.
We are. Chill's out. Tavern?
Sorry, I had to block somebody on X.
Okay. That'll happen.
I've said a million times on here, I don't really watch a bunch of other videos and other stream shows, not because I don't want to. My attention span isn't that great for that kind of stuff. And I'm not a part of the Save Watt thing like Kritter is, but I do want to save Watt, and I do my own little thing. If you see anything on my X or my Blue Sky in regards to, hashtag Save Watt or whatever, share it, repost it. I mean, I do graphics. That's what I do. I create graphical things. It's how my brain sees the world. It's how I see things. And so if you see it, take it, use it, share it, do whatever you need to do. I mean, I'm trying to make them in big, bold colors so that they stand out. So that's my contribution.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
And I forgot to mention, sorry.
No, you go.
Because we haven't done it in a while. We're going to do another X Space Wednesday to discuss the cancellation. And a good amount of people that don't participate in other ways participate there.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're just there in the middle of the day, you know, or whatever time zone you're in, it's usually around 11 a.m. But I think we're doing 1 p.m. Central.
On
so
Wednesday
if that works
instead of Thursday?
On Wednesday. On
Okay.
Wednesday instead of Thursday. And there's a handful of people that just want to talk about the cancellation also that are just heartbroken. And so we'll talk about, you know, hashtag save Watt, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
just another way to participate.
Yeah. And I do want to say that there's like a very teeny tiny itty bitty little Discord that's like planning some of the Save Watt stuff. But literally, if you are trying to Save Watt, you are part of Save Watt. And I didn't tell Tavern this yet, but he's maybe going to be working on some graphics for Save Watt also because I threw his name out there as somebody who's really talented.
I don't have a problem helping with any of that stuff.
Right. I did know that, and that's why I was like, hey, what about Tavern? Because we've got a lot of work to do, and God knows I basically just use clip art, so we need somebody more talented than me to do that. Once again, these bubbles of evil are going to be the death of me. Well, anyways, I was going to be doing my goodbye, so look at that. Another bubble of evil. Kill me. But not really. Please don't. But like, geez. Bubbles of evil.
So many.
So I will say, everyone is a part of Save Watt. Anyone that clicks a single like on a single video and a single tweet, anybody who tweets hashtag Save Watt, anybody who talks about it, comments on an article, posts a TikTok, literally whatever you can do it, please, because we want the Wheel of Time back. Basically, whenever we found out that the Wheel of Time was being canceled on Prime, Amazon Prime, the first thought that came to my mind on behalf of the Wheel and Chill show and the other dedicated Wheel of Time fans was, we come, and we're coming. Okay, we're gonna get this done. Have faith, have hope. Put your back into it. We're gonna fucking do this because I refuse to let this stand. I'm sorry. I'm furious. Like,
no, I love it and I need it. Like, thank you. And I know I'm not the only one that needs to hear it. Like,
yeah, like I am.
Preach.
Thank you. So let's Save Watt, everybody. Okay.
Real quick before you finish it off, Dana Lou did bring up a very important thing. Tomorrow night, Nights Who Say Chill.
Okay, the band of really, really nice good guys.
Thank you.
We'll be live on this channel. Once again, I am going to be trapped in hell, but everybody else will be live on this channel.
I hate it every time you say it.
Sorry.
It upsets me so much.
So if you want some live D&D action, come to this channel at 7:30 at the same time as Wheel and Chill, and
7:30 Central.
7:30 Central Time, and you can have a good time and turn your brain off when it comes to the Wheel of Time, if ever so briefly, but only during the Nights Who Say Chill, and then we come back to Save Watt. Okay,
Yep,
deal.
that's it.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. You guys were great in the chat. I tried to keep up with it. Thank you, Dana Luhu, for being such an amazing moderator all the time and reminding us about the Nights Who Say Chill. And we will be back and we'll let you know. I think we've got a cop now.
Can you say the Bears?
The Bears.
Can you say, how fast were you going, meow?
Excuse me, ma'am. How fast were you going?
No, meow. You got to throw meow in there. Okay,
You gotta say
anyways,
meow.
if you know what that reference is, Tavern, don't tell them. Put it
I'm
in
not saying
the
anything.
comments of this video. Okay, and don't forget to like the video if you haven't yet. We appreciate all of you for being here, and hashtag Save Watt. Bye.